Ange, everybody asks, I have a lot of relatives that come visit me now that I live in Florida. I actually see more people from New York now than I did when I lived in New York a couple blocks away. Okay?
I know what you're talking about.
And everybody's saying, I'm going to move to Florida. I got to get out of New York. I got to get out of Jersey or wherever they're from, and people always think the grass is greener on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those things they do. And everybody keeps asking me, what is it about Florida that you like?
Okay.
All right. And me and you actually did a video about this.
Yeah, about a month or two ago.
Yeah. But I wanted to get a little bit more into it because people still had a lot of questions. It's like, what was the driving force? And I'm going to tell you guys what the driving force was for me towards the end of this video. But my driving force might not be the same as your driving force.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, I know. For a fact, I know it's not.
Yeah. And I know, there's pros and cons of anywhere you live.
Yeah.
Okay. But I want to have a discussion about what it's really like living in Florida, in our opinion, after the smoke clears, after you're settled in. Everybody has this idea. It's like, I'm going to move to Florida and it's going to be one big vacation every day.
It's not. But it's actually not too far from that, though.
All right, elaborate.
Because,
in the meantime, before he elaborates, do me a favor, consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel, and it's greatly appreciated. Why would you say that?
So, I get what you're saying. It's a vacation. Everyone's on vacation. And when you come here to stay and live and get a job and do everything, it's not that far. It's like, 6 degrees of separation. And the separation is that pretty much every day out of the year, it's nice. Unlike if you were up north in some places, where it's cold and there's a lot of rain. I mean, granted, it'll rain here, but could rain the whole day, could rain just 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But here, like in December, this is March 1st, and it's 72 degrees, and I don't know what it is in New York, but it's probably a lot colder, and I don't know what it is in Michigan, but I guarantee it's a lot colder. And here, it's like we could, if we wanted to, we could drop the boat in the water and go blow out into the Gulf of America and have some fun. You're not going to be able to do that in New York. We could go play golf tomorrow. We can go to the shooting range the next day, even after our 9 to 5 or whatever our day is.
So let's talk about what you just said. We could do those things, but let's talk about drawbacks, okay? I'm going to mention a few of them right now that people are going to say. There's actually a Facebook page that's dedicated to I'm moving out of Florida.
Are you serious?
There's there's thousands of people on it, and all they do is bash Florida, okay? Because they complain about property taxes, traffic, congestion, people all over the place, humidity, bugs, you name it, they'll complain about it.
It's you know what? People love, misery loves company. You know what I'm saying? So I understand the people complaining, but I lived in LA for a long time. LA is not glamorous. It is not nice.
But you got a lot of people that complain about LA?
Oh my God. All the time.
So that's what my point is. So people in Florida, they're complaining oh, this place is crap hole, whatever, I'm leaving. But when I go visit in New York, I know a bunch of people that say the same thing about New York or Jersey or
misery loves company, and it's there's no perfect place. Nothing is 100% correct, and people always love to complain because it's funny. I have this theory because I did a war show, a documentary show years ago, and we interviewed a bunch of World War II guys. And all the stories we heard of them telling was all the happy things of war. When they were singing and getting together and the holidays and stuff like that. Nobody ever talks about, the disaster of war, the dead bodies and the bullets flying. And it's Now, I know you're like, well, that's the opposite of what we're talking about. But the thing is like, I guess when the bullets aren't flying and the bodies aren't dead, then you complain about like, oh, it sucks. And I hate that we got potholes and it's always raining and the taxes are so high. It's like, hey, I always say any day above ground is better than any day below it, And
no, that's true.
I get it. I get that people get frustrated and they don't like the situation they're in.
Or politics.
Yeah, and I get it. But here's the thing. Honestly, stop watching the news. Turn it off. Literally, if you want to find something, and this is a plug for YouTube. If you want to find out something and you want to get like multiple opinions from across the spectrum,
watch YouTube.
Go into YouTube. YouTube is number 2 in the world because it's Google, but most people, I don't want to say the smarter people or the more intelligent or the more anything, but I started using YouTube back in the day because I was trying to find information on how to do something.
I use it all the time when I want to get something done.
Yeah. And it's like, and I wouldn't just go, oh, let me just watch this one video. 10 would show up. And maybe I watch a 10-minute video, I watch 5 minutes of it. And I'm like, okay, let me try this one now. And then I go and I see that one. And I get a little perspective from everybody, And then I might go back to that first guy to watch the whole rest of the video.
Yeah.
And I use it. And I say the same thing when it comes to news. Like, which is, I know that's not what we're really talking about, but people get locked into this one way, this one direction, and with that comes the complaining, the bitching, the moaning.
That's what I'm just saying. It's just like, like there's people saying, oh, I'm going to leave Florida because I don't like DeSantis, and okay, so you're getting this guy to push you out of a state,
yeah,
and basically that it won't be in office very soon. It'll be somebody different. That you may like. So what are you going to do? Move back every time somebody that you like?
And they're going to go, and you're going to move to a state that maybe that guy gets voted out and somebody you hate again gets voted in. So basically, you can only do this 50 times, people, because there's only the 50 states. So you can only move 50 times. It's like, give it a break. Don't worry about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, me, it's just like, I stay in Florida because, I love the weather. I'm not crazy about the humidity, but right now we're March and I'm in a
It's
t-shirt.
nice.
It's really, really nice.
I mean, when the sun does come out, because right now it's behind a little clouds, you can feel the heat.
I love the water.
Yeah.
I live near the water, everything's convenient, everything's close.
Well, that's what I was getting to of like, you would leave the work in the day. Like you do a couple of jobs that you have to do. And then you turn around and you go, hey, I'm going to go take the boat out to do a little fishing for an hour and a half during, sunset or whatever.
Yeah.
You can't do this stuff in other places. Like there's so much you can do here.
I mean,
that's the 6 degrees I was talking about. It's not a party.
There's other states too, like, and it's not like I lived in New York, Pennsylvania, South Dakota, Wyoming, Washington State. I mean, I'll name Colorado.
But the thing is, like, for argument's sake, let's take Louisiana, which is, on the Gulf. But Louisiana gets cold. You know what I'm saying? Like they get cold. Some
people love the 4 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, but we got a little cold in January. Yeah, without a doubt.
We had to wear pants.
Yeah, which was a rarity. But the thing is like you could have still gone out on the boat. You know what I'm saying? You could have still went fishing. But the thing is like most people, you really look at the map. Florida is like, that's it. You're at the bottom. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, you can't go any more south. Like I always tell my cousins, in Canada, like they could only go so far south before they're in the United States. So even if they go to the furthest point of Canada, they're still freezing.
Yeah, no, it's the truth. I was thinking about, this is weird because we're talking about South now. I was thinking the other day, just because I started watching the show on streaming network called Heart of Dixie, and it's about a girl that comes from New York, and she
becomes a doctor.
And Blue Bell.
The show is like 10 years old, and you're watching it now.
Yeah, and I was watching now, and I was like, well, because Rachel Bilson, who's the actress, I like her. I've seen her in other things, and she's good. And it came up and it was in Amazon Prime, and I saw it come up. I was like, oh, let me check this out. Watched the first episode, and I was like, oh my God, there's a lot of people in this show that went on to bigger and better things. So I watched it, and I was like, it was amazing. And I was laughing about how, like, they're like Alabama, which is above us. You know what I'm saying? And they're considered the South. And that's what was cracking me up. I was like, I wonder back in the day, would, like, you know how they have, you know, when they talk about like the old South, and it's like, you know, the Carolinas and Alabama, stuff like that. What was Florida? You know what I'm saying? Because we're so much further south than they are. It's like, what's funny about Florida is, especially in Tampa, it's all about pirates.
Yeah.
It's not about like the Southern way. It's more about the pirates.
Listen, Florida sucks in June, July, August, September because of humidity.
And but you know what? Over the years, I just knew from when my father was alive, like my father adapted to it amazingly, and I see a lot of people that can. Never gonna.
I'm in attics that are 135 degrees, and people are like, "Are you crazy?" I look like I fell in a swimming pool when I get out. Don't get me wrong.
And you're fully dressed.
And I'm fully dressed, you know, because I'm doing inspections and stuff like that. But listen, yes, but if there was no humidity in June, July, August, September in Florida, you know how much more crowded it would be?
Oh my God! If this was, put it this way, Florida sucks. Do not come to Florida. It's the worst place ever.
But what I'm just saying is, if Florida had, say, San Diego weather.
Oh my God!
Okay.
This place would be, there would be a body every 5 feet.
Yeah, and the houses would be $5 million.
Yeah, this would be the place to live.
The reason why everybody loves San Diego, like when somebody says to me, "What do you like? Where are you like in California?" I always say San Diego. It's because of the weather.
It's 100%. That's it. It's just the weather. 77 degrees like all year round.
Yeah.
Humidity at like 32% all year round.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
You know,
but it's also expensive.
Yeah, crazy expensive. They literally, the joke in California is where they say when God moves to the world, where is God going to live? San Diego. You know, because it's perfect. It's the perfect place.
I mean, I get comments all the time on this channel. It's like, "Oh, Florida's a hellhole. I'll never live there."
Put it this way, Florida's got nice places, and it's got the woods, you know?
But you know what's funny? It's like almost everybody, I did a survey a long time ago, and they said, how many people visit? Everybody once in their life went to Florida.
Yeah. Especially when we were young. It was like, I never came to Florida when I was young. But I knew a lot of kids in my grade school and stuff like that.
Summer we're going to Florida.
Yeah, they're going, or they're going during like when school is in recess, you know, and they're going to Disneyland and stuff like that. Like I didn't go to Disney until I was 18 years old.
Yeah, but you also become desensitized to things too. Like when I moved here, permanently, because before I was like, oh, you know what? I'll live in Tampa and I could go to Disney or Universal.
And you bought all the yearly passes.
I bought the yearly passes.
I did the same thing in LA.
And I would go there like, look how cool it is. I'll leave in the morning. I'll get there, within an hour and a half. You'll spend the day there and get home. That's so cool, But then you become desensitized. When I lived in Wyoming, I lived in a place called Powell, Wyoming. It's just outside Cody, outside Yellowstone. Mm-hmm. And, every morning I would wake up and I would look at the mountains, with the snow peaks, even in the summer,
Yeah.
Beautiful. Like postcard beautiful. But after time, I became desensitized to it,
Yeah.
When
I don't even notice it.
I don't even notice it. And when I lived in New Hampshire, I lived on a place called, in Stratford, called Bow Lake, and it was beautiful. Like the house was actually on an island and I had water surrounding me and everything. But then that's why I moved there. But then I got desensitized. And it happens in Florida, too. You become desensitized to all this stuff.
Yeah, you totally do. It's like, like you have your boat. Like, you don't take the boat out that much.
Well, I take it out once a week at least.
No, but you get what I'm saying? Where it's like when people first come here, it's like that boat's every single day, all day. Or if they had a jet ski, every single day, all day. And then all of a sudden, one day it stops. And then it's like 2 weeks goes by, and it's like, I'm going to take it out. And then they still don't, And that's the desensitization. That's when they're getting desensitized to it.
You become desensitized to things. Like the boat, like I used to be excited to go on the boat almost every day. And it's really convenient for me.
You asked this before we started this. You want to go on a boat? And I said, nah, it's too cold today.
Yeah, it's too cold. It's 74 degrees. It's too cold to go on the boat. But, I mean, there's no perfect place to live.
No. I mean, put it this way, there's like really nice places to live because of like, the houses are beautiful.
You tell me a perfect place and I'll find people that are complaining about it.
Oh, without a doubt. You couldn't. I mean, you could just say, like, you could go, let's take Beverly Hills. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone knows Beverly Hills in the world. It's
90210 is the
that's
zip
it.
code, right?
You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like I could point out 500 things wrong with Beverly Hills, maybe even 1,000 on a bad day. You know what I mean? It's like there's nothing perfect. I can say we have mutual friends that live in like down in southern like Seal Beach, Laguna Beach.
Yeah.
And Laguna Beach is absolutely gorgeous to be on, especially if you're on the bluff and you're overlooking the beach and stuff. Talk to those people and they'll point out 500 things wrong with everything down there. And it's just like you can't let it get to you. It's like there are bigger problems in your life and bigger problems in the world than you sitting there worrying about, like, you know, the little things.
So at the end of the day, living in Florida, is it perfect? No, it's far from perfect. I can tell you 20 things wrong with it, but I can tell you 20 things wrong with any place else. But it's really up to the individual, you know, what they want. Some people like the 4 seasons. I can't stand snow.
No, I hate the
You
cold.
know, Tanya's up in New Hampshire dealing with snow right now,
Yeah.
and she sent me videos. I'm like, no thanks.
I saw the picture on Facebook, and the whole she's on like a giant farm.
Yeah,
and the
and-
whole thing is covered in like 4 feet
I'm
of
like,
snow.
yeah, no thanks. I will wear my shorts and T-shirt and go
Yeah,
on the boat and
That's
stuff
crazy.
like that.
But she does it for a reason. Her mom and all that
Yeah,
stuff. You know,
but,
I get it.
mean, I'm going to go there in May, you know, because I'll go there once a year and go visit everybody.
Yeah,
when
and
it's
that's,
warm.
you know, and
but I
that's
go up to
great.
Maine and stuff, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and that,
I lived
that's
in Maine
good.
too, so
Yeah,
it's
there's
like-
another one. Yeah, I mean, you've actually been in more lived in more places than I have.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like you
And it's not like I'm saying this. I found complaints. I did video on why I left Maine. Check it out. It's on the channel. Why I left New Hampshire. I did a video on that. Check it out. And it's not like I just went there and I visited. I actually bought a house there and I lived there for
you
a year.
assimilated into the population.
Yeah, for a few years.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like an overnight thing. I mean, I actually lived
or
there.
even stayed for 4 months, kind of thing. You were there.
No, I was there, you
Yeah.
know, and that's what I consider. But tell us what you guys think. But the reason why I stay in Florida is because of the Gulf of, should I call it Gulf of Mexico or Gulf of America?
Gulf of America. Now, well, here's the thing. Think about it. It's like, because it is more the Gulf of America. Now, and I don't mean like the United States of America, because like it goes down for, you know, South America and that whole body of water there. So it should be called the Gulf of Americas, like plural, because of all of it. You know, I know what, you know, the president did, and he said, you know, now it's the Gulf of America. That's kind of like when they did the French fries and they called them American fries. And now the Canadians are no longer calling it the Americano for the coffee. Now it's called the Canadiano.
Yeah, like I was in Ireland, I don't know, a couple of years ago. And,
Is there Irish coffee in Ireland?
Yeah, and I asked for French fries. They're like, "What are you talking about?" They were like, "Oh, chips."
Oh, chips. Yeah, but I wonder. Here's a
And I was
question.
like, yeah, so
You know,
like,
you know what Irish coffee is, right? It's coffee with liquor and booze. Is there Irish coffee in Ireland? I've never been to Ireland. I don't know.
I didn't ask.
You
I
know,
didn't
like
try.
what do they call Irish coffee in Ireland? You know, it may just be called coffee. I have no idea. You know, it's kind of funny, all those little things. But I just literally saw something on the news the other day. We're in Starbucks in Canada. It says, you know, an Americano. I don't drink coffee, so I don't know what an Americano coffee is. But the sign had a line through it, and it said Canadiano is what they're now calling it there, and like in protest to the American tariffs. And I was laughing at it. I was like, you know what? Hey, good for you. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to be pro anybody, but it's like, if that gets you through your day, God bless you.
You know what? I'm going to Tuscany, Italy. My niece is getting married. And
That should be nice.
She's going to get married. She picks Tuscany. I don't know why. She's Greek, but she picks Italy. Remember, her fiance is. But anyways, it's.
Now, is this your brother's kid, or?
Yeah, no, it's Frank's.
Frank's. That's what I meant. Yeah,
daughter,
Frank,
yeah.
yeah.
And you know, so I want to go there and see if they really have, you know, the best pizza or.
You got to bring the camera, dude. You got to bring the
I'm
camera.
going to bring the camera. And
Oh
stuff.
my God!
And
I'll
that's
give you
all-
some extra cards and batteries if you need them. You know.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go check that out. Everything, but anyways, yeah, that's why we live in Florida. Florida is really not a bad place. If you want cons, I could do video after video on cons, but I could do that with every place I live.
Yeah, but I do say one thing, and it's not just about Florida, it's about any state you move to. So whenever you're moving from one state to another, leave all that other state baggage behind. Like, don't drag the stuff you had from say you were from New York, the attitude, the hatred, the misery. Don't bring that with you. Reinvent yourself.
Well, you brought up a point. You know, I know somebody from New York that actually moved to Louisiana or Alabama, a southern town, small town, and brought an attitude. And those people are laid back. Like, if you order a sandwich, have a seat. It might take a little while to bring it. They're not in a rush.
No.
You know, and they're like, in New York, you're like, I want it now. It's
It's like, you know, like realize that you're not where you were, and there's, you know, there's not a people like you. They want to talk to you. They're not angry.
At the end of the day, we're all going to the same place.
Yeah,
6 feet under.
That's it.
You know,
so
and
enjoy the ride while you last, because it's a blink of an eye.
It is. Anyways, that's today's video. I know it's just a chat fest.
That's it.
But do me a favor, consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel. And watch this video right here. I picked it out just for you guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you, and have a great day.